Gilbot sends out Magneton, gets the snipe with the Volt Switch. The opponent now sends out Carbink. And trainer, you're in trouble. Gilbot fires off the Magnet Bomb. Magnet Bomb nearly one-shots Magneton. Going to be able to get the full Volt Switch farm down. Trainer, what do you have in the back? And it really is time for that big boom action. High Empoleon, buy Empoleon. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing things that are somewhat different around here. We have an incredible project brought to you by the Shadow Hub Discord. The Shadow Hub Discord, which is linked down below, in theory, I suppose is my own Discord. However, that's a little arrogant. It's more a family Discord for like-minded trainers like myself and others that enjoy Spice and Shadows to hang out. I think a more accurate description of the Shadow Hub Discord is not your normal family, which brings us on perfectly to today's video, as we are doing full family evolution lines taking on the Go Battle League. Every single battle in today's video is going to be a full family evolution line. So to make that clear, you could have a first, second and third stage evolution, or you could have something that evolves from the same Pokemon. For example, you could have 3 Eevee evolutions like Flareon, Jolteon and Vaporeon. Before we get into the battles, I'd like to say a huge thank you to the on-screen trainer cutlassboy, aka Summers. He was the one that came up with this idea and he helped me get all these battles together. Secondly, I'd like to say thank you to everyone that is a member of the Discord, as without it, I'll be honest, I wouldn't still be playing this game. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, cutlassboy leads Mankey into Ferrothorn. Very nice to see a steel type when you've got a triple Mankey evolution line. cutlassboy fires off the Brick Break, forcing a Protect Shield. The opponent returns fire with the Power Whip, which we shield in return. The opponent then save switches into Sableye. We fire off yet another Brick Break, which is single resisted, however comes with a 100% chance to lower the opponent's defense. Mankey still not done, fires off the next Brick Break, getting the opponent down to around a third health. Sableye now stuck with 2-stage lowered defense. cutlassboy sends out Primape, looking for the counter farm down. cutlassboy invests the Protect Shield, shielding the incoming return, and he's going to leave with so much residual energy. The opponent forced to reveal their third, which also is no great answer for a fighter, the stupid butt plug. cutlassboy fires off the first close combat, rocking the opponent below half health. Primape still not done, says there's plenty more of where that came from. The second close combat forces the Protect Shield. The opponent then pivots out into Ferrothorn, but Ferrothorn's going to be straight in and straight out. Close combat vanquishes the opponent back to their Pokeball. We then pivot out into Annhilape to soak the energy. Moonblast, of course, is super effective, but Carbink has a non-existent attack stat. We withstand the damage, reach the Night Slash. Night Slash also resisted, doesn't get the job done. We Simul KO. Primape is still alive and cutlassboy picks up the dub. In the next battle, cutlassboy bring in the full Gastly evolution line. Gastly, one of the most attack-weighted Pokemon in the format. Shout out Toast, who also has one of these built. You can see Gastly cannot tank a hit for shit. cutlassboy just sacrifices it to the Pokegods. We send out Haunter and the opponent responds with Mew. Mew not going to appreciate the Shadow Punch. Haunter forces the first protection. The opponent looks to the full Shadow Claw farm down, but Haunter refuses to die, reaches the second Shadow Punch, forcing the opponent's final protection. It's now Gengar versus the world. We see the instant shield deployed. The opponent fire off the Wild Charge, which is a pretty smart play, as it lowers their own defense, giving Gengar less farm. Back out comes the Tin Can. The Tin Can, super spammy, able to outpace Gengar. Gengar burns the final Protect Shield. cutlassboy then overfarms before firing off the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball, of course, going to be massive overkill. What is that third? The opponent's final Pokemon is a Confusion Victini. The opponent unable to Confusion farm down before the Shadow Ball. Get that Victini off my screen, and cutlassboy able to pick up the dub. Next up, we've got Gilbot running the full Dratini evolution line in its Shadow form. Holy Gilbot, what a flex. We lead Shadow Dragonair into Shadow Vic. Shadow Vic has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide when faced with 3 Dragon types. The opponent save switches into Poliwag. We land the Body Slam, shield the Icy Wind, and then snipe with Shadow Dratini, getting a run-in start. The opponent very unlikely to send back out Vic, as it will get absolutely beat down. Speaking of beat downs, the opponent sends out their own Shadow Dragonair, and our Dratini makes a very brief cameo appearance. We send back out Dragonair, shield at the Body Slam. The opponent not wanting to get farmed down, bring back out Vic. Gilbot fires off the Body Slam, forcing the Protect Shield. The opponent looks to the full Magical Leaf farm down, which they get. If this opponent is running Sludge Bomb, I think we're in for a rough time. The opponent actually only on Acid Spray, which is an easy tank. we're actually running Steel Wing for some coverage because of course we're triple weak to Fairy, but regardless we're able to Steel Wing farm down and take that game. Gilbot was not a one-hit wonder with this team. He actually submitted me I think 6 or 7 battles with each team that he ran. So I think we're going to see 3 battles with this team. We lead Shadow Dragonair into Obstagoon. Gilbot shields up the Night Slash, returns fire with the Aqua Tail. Body Slam is slightly better DPE, but Obstagoon craps its pants, putting up that Protect Shield, and we see the pivot into Dratini. The opponent fires off the Obstruct, lowering our defense. Dratini getting eaten alive by the counters, but the little Dratini hangs on, reaches the Aqua Tail, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. The opponent is going to get a massive counter farm down, but one Dragon Breath is going to snipe him. The opponent now sends out Toxapex, and this is exactly where we want to see it, as our Dragonite is running Steel Wing. We fire off the first Body Slam, Toxapex insanely thick, but Shadow Dragonair so oppressive. We're able to reach the second Body Slam. The second Body Slam isn't quite lethal. We do manage to Dragon Breath farm down, and we are spamming the switch. The opponent's final Pokemon is Jellicent. If we was on Dragon Breath or Dragon Tail, we'd be in a very good position. However, Jellicent does resist our non-stab Steel Wings. We land the first Dragon Claw. The opponent farms up to a potential Shadow Ball. Gilbot respects it, and this Savage is running Bubble Beam. Undeterred, Gilbot fires off the next Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw isn't going to be enough with the debuff. The opponent is going to reach a Shadow Ball, but Dragonite, even on the moveset that is running, able to get the opponent low enough that Dragonair can come in, Dragon Breath farm down, and we take that game. In the next battle, we've got a change of lead, and clearly a change of moveset. I was thinking Steel Wing not going to help us out here, but we've got Shadow Dragon Breath, and Zapdos is getting torn apart. The opponent fire off the Drill Peck, forcing a Protect Shield, and we see the Simul swap with Dratini into Shadow Machamp. And speaking of torn apart, where is Dratini's health bar going? Machamp able to shield once, counter farm all the way down. Gilbot sends in Shadow Dragonair, gets one turn bring in. However, it looks like the opponent was being quite disciplined, looking to see what come in. The opponent fires off the first Cross Chop, then the second. Gilbot completely sacks Dragonair, and he's putting it all on Shadow Dragonite. Dragonite comes out, gets the Dragon Breath farm down. Zapdos is probably nothing more than a sacrificial swap, as they're already very low. The opponent reveals their third, which is Venusaur, and we need to be very careful the opponent doesn't make that catch, which they don't. Dragon Claw going to be very close to knocking out. The opponent looks to reach a charge move, they don't get there. We Dragon Breath farm down Venusaur, Dragon Breath farm down Zapdos, and we take that game. Next up, we've got Gilbot bringing us the full Shadow Magnet line, another insane flex. On paper, this team might make very little sense. However, it does completely clap the toxic line of either Bastiodon or Carbink with Victreebel and the Charmer. Gilbot farmed up some energy, caught the Leaf Blade onto Magnemite, then completely sacked it. Gilbot has now obtained himself shield advantage. We send out Magnezone. Magnezone going to shield up the incoming Leaf Blade. Of course, it would be resisted, but you can already tell by the damage that Magnemite took. We cannot tank a hit for shit. Gilbot fires off the Mirror Shot, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. Gilbot happy to return the shield, knowing we're going to nuke something in the back. We bank all our energy snipe with Magneton getting a running start. The opponent sends back out the stupid butt plug Stinky Binky, and they must be so weak. The double super effective Magnet Bomb nearly one-shots Magneton, gets the Volt Switch farm down. Show me Wigglytuff. Unfortunately, it isn't a Charmer, but it's something that's about to get one shot. And Trainer, get fucking wrecked. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we lead the mighty Shadow UFO into Cresselia. A very nice lead. Gilbot farms up, banks the Wild Charge, save switches into Magnemite, looking to soak the energy. All three of these magnets share the same steel electric typing, meaning they completely wall Cresselia. But even a non-stab Grass Knot did half our HP. Gilbot returns fire with the Magnet Bomb, getting Cresselia into the red. The opponent again fire off the Grass Knot. Magnemite able to withstand the damage, but gets resisted. Psycho Cut farm down. Magnemite, where is your bulk? Gilbot sends back out the UFO, tanks the Grass Knot, and out comes Gligar. If you think this is a bad matchup, ask Polasher, who was able to win a regional, playing this matchup out time and time again. We land the Wild Charge, then go for the Mirror Shot. Mirror Shot forces the Protect Shield, and then we make a very nice catch of what will be an Aerial Ace onto Magneton. That is double resisted, and one of the few moves that we can easily withstand. The opponent pivots out in the third, which is the Penguin. They say no thank you and concede the match. In the next battle, we see the battle of the steel types. A nice lead for Magnezone, as we are going to double resist this Doom Desire. However, Doom Desire, pretty good move, and it still would do around 35% Gilbot. Shields up the Doom Desire, say switches into Magnemite, and you're never going to see a double resisted move do so much damage. Ouch. The opponent fires off the Doom Desire, then say switch into a Alolan Ninetales. Gilbot throws up very nice fast move timing. Fires off the Magnet Bomb, and we get resisted Charm Farm down. Poor old Magnemite cannot tank any moves. Fast moves, charge moves, they all hit like a truck. Gilbot now sends out the third Magnet. Can we get the full Volt Switch Farm down? Just look at this resisted charm damage. Gilbot thinks better of it. Fires off the Magnet Bomb, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. We then pivot out into Magnezone. Magnezone also not going to appreciate this resisted Weather Ball. We've got energy here, there, and every fucking where. Back out comes Jirachi. We go for the Mirror Shot. Hopefully this is enough to knock out. Yes, it is. We leave with the Wild Charge. And oh my days, Jellicent is going to get one shot from absolute full health. Get that jellyfish out of here. And Gilbot picks up the dub. In the next battle, we see some Shadow on Shadow crime. Our Volt Switches are neutral. We resist the Dragon Breaths, although the damage output is essentially the same. Gilbot banks the Wild Charge, pivots into Magnemite. That resisted Dragon Claw did almost half our health, and out comes Venusaur. The opponent then plays the CMP tie. They do not win. We fire off the Magnet Bomb, near one shot in Venusaur. Gilbot says, Magnemite, thank you very much for your contribution. Of course, Frenzy Plant, even if the opponent no bubbled, would have took us out. Gilbot now knows this Venusaur's nothing more than free farm. Back out comes the UFO. The UFO gets the Volt Switch farm down. Back out comes Dragonite. We go for the kill shot. Wild Charge forces the final Protect Shield, and we pivot out into the third Magnet. We're going to be able to shield once. Volt Switch farm all the way down. The opponent, Yola the superpower. Great shield from Gilbot. Oh boy. Hi Mancine, bye Mancine. Discharge, massive overkill, and we take that game. Next up, we've got Jfrogg with a Poliwag evolution line, with Poliwag, Politoed, and of course, the very OP Poliwrath. Some very spicy movesets. We've got Return and Earthquake. We see Gallade in the lead. We fire off the Scald. The opponent shows no respect and get debuffed. We're going to see Poliwag's Bulk. The opponent fires off the Leaf Blade, which simply doesn't get the job done. Jfrogg says, Poliwag, thank you very much for your contribution. We take shield advantage, send out Politoed, commit to the Mud Shot farm down, getting a very nice running start. So we've got two quite expensive charge moves. The opponent sends out Empoleon, and do they know about that Legacy Earthquake? Because if the opponent don't know, they're soon about to find out. We tank the Drill Peck over farm, go straight for the Earthquake. The question is, does the opponent respect the damage? Get that Penguin off my screen. The opponent's final Pokemon is Mandibuzz, and we send out Poliwrath. Jfrogg able to fire off the Icy Wind before the opponent can start firing off Aerial Asses, which is going to mean they're going to do less and less damage. Jfrogg shields the first, not that we need to, as Aerial Asses are a pretty trash move, especially when coming from this very bulky Vulture. Jfrogg tanks the second. You can see the opponent really is relying on the lag con to win this battle. However, does Jfrogg lag or have a heart attack? Perhaps we lag, but he definitely doesn't have a heart attack because he's alive and well and he sent me this battle. Jfrogg looking to shield flex on the opponent. The opponent fires off one more Aerial Ass. Poliwrath withstands the damage, returns fire with the Icy Wind, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Next up, we've got the CharonsClaw running a full Oddish family evolution line. I think this is one of the hardest teams to run because of how inflexible this team is. Speaking of which, because if you see a fire type, what the hell do you do? This family are primed for a move update. You can see our two Razor Leafers have access to Moonblast. The one Pokemon that has got a decent quick move has Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam and Moonblast cost the same energy, but Moonblast does 20 more damage with a 10% chance to lower the opponent's attack. Niantic, please update these Pokemon. You can see the CharonsClaw ends up 2 shielding just to get rid of the fire type. Back out comes Obstagoon. We fire off the Sludge Bomb, forcing a Protect Shield. But the opponent now has so much energy, and it's all down to Blossom to clean up. The CharonsClaw going to respect the potential big move. The opponent fires off the Night Slash and they get the boost. Uh-oh. Blossom not going to appreciate this boosted Night Slash, and ouch, that hurt. The CharonsClaw throws one Bullet Seed and the Leaf Blade, which will be secure in the knockout. Show me something we can one-shot. Ask and you shall receive. Out comes Quagsire. Mud Boys double weak to grass, and Leaf Blade going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Despite the Oddish family being one of the most inflexible teams you could possibly run, the CharonsClaw was not a one-hit wonder, and we see another huge core breaker. Holy crap. Is the algorithm real? I personally don't think so, but it certainly looks like it. We see Galvantula, dreadful for this whole team. The CharonsClaw shields up the lunge, returns fire with the Dazzling Gleam, which goes shielded, and we already look in such a rough spot. The CharonsClaw looking to 2-shield Blossom and hope to sneak through the Dazzling Gleam. Come on, trainer, just let it go. You want to save a shield for the backline, surely. The next Dazzling Gleam, fuck, goes shielded. And now we're going to have to try and Razor Leaf down a Bug type, which of course is no easy feat as Bug does resist Grass. I suppose one saving grace is that both our back 2 Pokemon have a sub-poison type in, meaning Lunge is only going to hit for neutral. Due to poison, resisting Bug and Grass taking super effective, the CharonsClaw sends out Vileplume, catches the first lunge onto Gloom. Gloom gets taken out by the second. How the hell do we win this game? Vileplume gets the Razor Leaf farm down. Out comes the Quagman. The opponent doesn't even reach a charger. They get Razor Leaf farmed all the way down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Shiftry, and Shiftry is going to be straight in and straight out Moonblast. Going to be massive overkill. GG's, and thanks for playing. Next up, we've got GRN7 running the full Rhyhorn Evolution line. Another very inflexible team, and you can already see why. All 3 Pokemon, double weak to Grass, double weak to Water, and weak to Counter or Fighting. At least this Grass type has a Sub-Steel type in, so we send out Rhyhorn, where the Mud Slaps are at least hitting for neutral. Rock, one of the worst defensive typings ever, to be brutally honest. We're also triple weak to Ice. The list could continue. Let's see how we play our way out of this one. The Mud Slaps are chunking. We managed to force both Protect Shields with the break-in swipes, and it's now all shields down. Power Whip, of course, going to be lethal. Hopefully we can come in with Shadow Rhyhorn. Mud Slap farm down before the next Power Whip. It's going to be close. Oof, too close for comfort. Back out comes Gilbot. Unfortunately, unlike Big Brother, we're not able to learn Stone Edge, so we settle for the Stomp. We're even getting a distracting phone call, but we're not distracted. We're looking for that big dub. The opponent fire off the Shadow Ball, which isn't quite lethal. We see the Simul swap, and it's now Rhyperior versus Squidward. We've got a running start. We're able to reach the Rock Wrecker. Rock Wrecker gets this Squid insanely low. Rhyperior gets the Smackdown farm down. Back out comes Gilbot. We Smackdown farm down and take that game. Next up, we've got the one and only KitKat Deluxe running the full Axew family line. I'll be honest, Haxorus Fracture, pretty decent. Axew is absolute garbage. And we see a huge core breaker running 3 dragons. You don't want to see any fairy type or anything with fairy coverage. KitKat farms up, fires off the break-in swipe on the CMP tie to a potential Moonblast. We respect the Moonblast. The opponent does not bait us, and of course we don't get the attack drop. KitKat again farms up. Then Stay in School Kids learns to count is 7, then 7 to the Moonblast, and we look to completely sack the Axew. I cannot believe we actually survived that. The opponent leaves us on a sliver of HP and snipe with Annihilate. KitKat uses Axew as a 650,000 Stardust third shield, and it's probably its best use. We send back out Haxorus, firing off break-in swipe after break-in swipe, and Annihilate doesn't appreciate our very high attack stat. We see the instant no-shield deploy KitKat, looking to save Fracture the final shield. KitKat spamming the switch timer, finally pops up. The opponent gets some stutter lag Fracture, able to get the Dragon Tail farm down. And we've got a very nice running start. Outcomes for Alligator KitKat, fires off 3 Dragon Tails and the Night Slash for optimal fast move timing. Show me the boost. Of course, no boost. KitKat, of course, going to shoot up the resisted Hydro Cannon as we can't tank one from here to look at the Shadow Claw damage. The opponent then gives up switch, sending out Cresselia, which is energy dry. Fracture again goes for 3 and the Night Slash. Night Slash forces the final Protect Shield. We're able to outpace to the next Night Slash. Night Slash will be securing the knockout. Can we farm down in 3? 1, 2, let's go. Fracture sweeps the back line and we're able to take that game. Come on, KitKat, give Axew some screen time. In the next battle, well, I mean, this is pretty bad for all 3 of our Pokemon, but KitKat has got water coverage on all 3, so we can at least hit Stinky Binky for super effective. KitKat farms up, fires off the Surf on the CMP tie to a potential Rock Slide. Well, it's not potential, it is the Rock Slide. And why did the opponent shield? Of course, Haxorus has got access to Earthquake. However, we only threw 9 counters, so 9 wouldn't be enough for an Earthquake. The opponent then tries their luck at catching a Surf. Onto Ferrothorn, KitKat, very happy to see it here, as this is our best answer. KitKat firing off Breaking Swipe after Breaking Swipe, and Ferrothorn is deep in the red, and they dump energy. It's the instant no shield deployed. The resisted Power Whip does secure the knockout, and out comes Fracture, looking for the resisted Dragon Tail farm down, which we get. I've just noticed that Fracture learns Aqua Tail, not Surface, wrong in the graphic. But am I going to change it at this stage? Fuck no. This video has took me like 8-10 hours to make. It is what it is. Feel free to roast me in the comments. KitKat fires off the Aqua Tail, then attempts to switch, but unfortunately it is the CMP tie, so we're stuck. The opponent then pivots back out into Stinky Binky, and they're not going to appreciate this drink. We fire off the first Aqua Tail, getting the opponent incredibly low. The second Aqua Tail will be securing the knockout. Is Axew going to do anything this game? Come on, KitKat, unleash it. Back out comes the alligator. The alligator is forced to throw. Or crocodile, I think it's a croc. As it is called Croconaut, we're in shambles. We've been at this for about 8 hours now, and I'm getting very tired. We get the scratch farm down. Axew, clearly the best Pokemon to ever enter the Go Battle League, and we're able to take that game. In the next battle, we see an Ice type in the lead. Dragons don't appreciate Ice, but this Dinosaur Aurorus doesn't appreciate our quick move counter or our monstrous attack stat. KitKat fires off the Breaking Swipe on the CMP tie, forcing a Protect Shield. KitKat should be able to shield once, counter farm down. I don't think they survived 4 counters, do they? They do not. Aurorus gets deleted. Haxorus leaves fairly healthy with residual energy. Out comes Cresselia. Cresselia instantly greeted with the Breaking Swipe. We get the attack drop, which is very advantageous. KitKat able to reach the second Breaking Swipe. Cresselia very thick, but these Breaking Swipes at least getting below half health. KitKat then pivots into Axew. The opponent sends out Turtonator. Okay, is this a matchup we actually win? KitKat able to reach the Dragon Claw. Do they? No. Come on, Axew. No. Trainer, I just want to see Axew land a boom, and you ruined all my fun. To be fair, Axew did quite a lot of scratch damage, and there was a phrase I never thought I'd say on this channel. KitKat sends out Fracture. Fracture is going to be forced to shield the Dragon Pulse, and Cresselia definitely has a Moonblast Bang. KitKat stops attacking, trying to call off a timer. Timer, please pop up. KitKat spams the switch. What a play. Cresselia has a lot of energy. They fire off the Moonblast, which means they're going to be at least 2 away from the next move. KitKat able to reach the Night Slash. Night Slash secures the win, and what a fucking well played game. GG's, and thanks for playing. KitKat, you are certainly a legend. In the next battle, Boots with the Fur is bringing us triple Eevee evolutions. All 3 of these Pokemon are single moves, however that's fine. This is a very expensive challenge if you want to run some level 50 nonsense like Axew. We see a dreadful lead. We're going to say switch into Glaceon. Glaceon going to shield up the Aerial Ace, then throw 1 Ice Shard and the Icy Wind, looking to lower this ever annoying Mantine's attack. Not that they've really got an attack stat, they're pretty fucking defense weighted. The opponent then sends out the Quagman. Quagman also going to get the debuff treatment. Glaceon or any Icy Wind user is incredibly annoying. As the Quagman now has a lowered attack, they are going to need to full send a Stone Edge to secure the knockout, and they do exactly that. We send back out Flareon. Go straight for the Superpower, looking to get this Quagman off the screen. Superpower does secure the knockout. We then pivot into Sylveon. Sylveon gets a running start and catches the energy, and we've still got Flareon as a potential 3rd shield. Sylveon does get the full Charm Down, Farm Down, and out comes the Grass Snake. As we've not forced any shields off the opponent, our Wincon is going to be the fast move beatdown. Boots with the Fur shows huge cojones, calls the Aerial Ace bait, which we survive. We get off yet more charm damage. Boots with the Fur putting it all on Flareon. Flareon insanely low, but can we Fire Spin farm down? The opponent makes a mistake throwing a charge when we still got a shield. They should have looked to Vine Whip farm us down. They didn't do that. Flareon gets the Fire Spin farm down, and we take that game. Next up, we've got fellow content creator, and actually someone local to me, Ripley. Ripley lives all of about 2 miles away, which is kind of random, as of course I didn't know him before I started playing Pokemon Go. He's running the full Deino family evolution line, because Hydreigon is his favourite Pokemon. In game 1, we lead Deino into Greedent. Greedent far out bulks us. We manage to take shield advantage and then send out Zweilous. Dragon Breath, a very oppressive move, but Greedent, being the chunky little squirrel, tanking these Dragon Breaths really well. Ripley fires off the Body Slam. Body Slam will come close to knocking out, but doesn't secure the knockout, and game 1 is already looking rough. Ripley unwilling to shield the Body Slam. We see the pivot into Hydreigon, and out comes Blossom. Blossom, something we've already featured today. The opponent goes straight for a Leaf Blade, which is resisted, but one of the best moves in the game at a whopping 2.0 DPE. Ripley overfarms before firing off the Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing does secure the knockout, and out comes Jellicent. Ripley continuing to farm up. The opponent goes straight for a Surf, and Ripley unwilling to shield this resisted charge move. Ripley now looking to double up. We just need to be mindful of the potential catch. Ripley fires in the middle of the bubble animation. Brutal Swing forces the Protect Shield. Ripley just needs to look out for the catch. The opponent's timer will be up. We shield up the Surf. The opponent doesn't make that catch. Again, Ripley fires off the Brutal Swing in the middle of the bubble animation. Brutal Swing, massive overkill. We Dragon Breath farm down Greedent and take that game. In the next battle, we see Sableye in the lead. Something the whole team's good into due to Dark resisting Ghost. The opponent fires off the foul play just short of the return, and holy crap, even that did a lot of damage. Ripley returns fire with the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse forces the Protect Shield, and we see the pivot into Zweilous. Ripley, thinking about calling another bait, respects the return, and this Masturbator throws yet another foul play, killing a poor defenseless cat. This can only be a foul play. Zweilous, a lot bulkier than its baby brother, able to tank the damage and commit to the Dragon Breath farm down. The opponent sends out Machamp, and this is not what we want to see, as we're triple weak to counter. Luckily for us, the opponent gave us a huge amount of farm, staying in with Sableye, our two-headed dragon, able to force the shield and get off some very much needed chip damage on this very scary Machamp. Ripley waits out his clock, sends out Hydreigon, gives it the old show and go, and makes a savage catch back onto Deino. How do you beat a counter user exactly like that? Hydreigon gets the Dragon Breath farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Toxapex. Ripley should be sitting very much in the driver's seat. We fire off the first Brutal Swing. Toxapex might be thick, but Hydreigon very attack weighted and hits like a truck. Ripley, of course, going to shield up the incoming Brine. We're just going to Dragon Breath this Toxic Nipple into range where Brutal Swing will knock out, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. Oof. Lapras. I was going to say, how do we beat an Ice type? Luckily for us, this is not a Legacy Ice Shard Lapras. They're on Water Gun, which is a lot better for us, and it's even greater for us that the opponent goes straight for a Surf. They then send out the Pokemon Sonic, calls to go Alolan Marowak, which isn't going to appreciate the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse, force the Protect Shield, and we pivot into Zweilous. All three of our dragons do very nicely into Alolan Marowak due to the fact they're forced to go for Bone Clubs. Ripley looking to keep some health. Shielding up the next. Oh my god. Flame Wheel. Please, please never on Flame Wheel. It is by far one of the worst charge moves in the entire game. 55 energy for 60 damage. Flamethrower, a pretty mid move. It's 55-90. Just don't fucking use it. I'm triggered here. I've got so distracted, I don't even know what's going on anymore. As I'm still raging why someone would have the audacity to run Flame Wheel. However, the opponent's final Pokemon is Jumpluff. We force the final Protect Shield. The opponent on Bullet Seed again. I'd recommend Fairy Wind. Although Bullet Seed isn't the worst move, just Fairy Wind would have helped to win this battle. We're going to shield up a potential Acrobatics. The opponent full sends the Acrobatics, a very nice shield usage from Ripley. We reach the Brutal Swing. Jumpluff, pretty ticks, they're able to withstand the damage. We manage to Dragon Breath farm down afterwards and take that game. Next up, we've got the one, the only, my favourite battle in the world, X Boston. Do you think we can make a Shadow Hub collaboration without him? Of course not. We pick up what you think's a good lead, but evidently not. As that Surf did so much damage, we say switch into Sneasel, where our poison jabs are hitting for super effective and we're only taking neutral from the charms. But would you look at that? Stat distribution can be so unfair. The opponent gets the full charm down, farm down. Boston, undeterred, sends out Sneasler with a 2-to-1 shield advantage and gets the full Shadow Claw farm down. Back out comes Jellicent. We fire off one Shadow Claw and the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace, a pretty trash move, even when from such a glass cannon like Sneasler. Boston going to take his shield advantage, invest a Protect Shield here, and we're now in the 1-to-1 shield. The opponent sends out Gligar. We see the aggressive pivot into Weavile and go straight for what I thought was an Avalanche, but evidently it's a Triple Axle, which helps us massively in this battle. It vamps up our attack. We force the final Protect Shield, send back out Sneasler. Sneasler fires off the Aerial Ace. Get that Gligar off my screen. We Shadow Claw farm down Jellicent and take that game. Heading into the final battle of today's video, Boston brings us the full Geodude family tree, and it is actually all three Kanto versions. We see a great lead. The opponent say switches into Hypno. Boston banks a boatload of energy and sends out Graveler. Hopefully no Ice Punch, which would be super effective. Although, ouch, that Shadow Ball still did a lot. But Boston, undeterred, farms up to the dig, throws the Rock Slide. Rock Slide doesn't quite do enough damage, and it doesn't even force a shield. However, it does leave it in Mud Shot farm down range. Boston sends out Golem that only runs nukes. This isn't enough for another Shadow Ball. Boston calls the opponent's second move will be Thunder Punch, which is double resisted. Huge cojones from Boston. As always, we get a very nice Mud Shot farm down. And out comes the big pile of gunk muck. Boston farms up past the Earthquake baits with the Stone Edge, but let's not kid ourselves. Is that really a bait when it's Shadow on Shadow Crime? Boston forced to start shielding. The opponent throws the Acid Spray like a savage, then pivot out into Gary. Gary instantly greet with a Stone Edge. Stone Edge forces the final Protect Shield, and here comes Geodude looking to close. Boston burns the final Protect Shield on the incoming Aqua Tail. Geodude gets the Rock Throw farm down, claims its first victim. Back out comes the big pile of gunk, and Dig is going to be all she wrote, with Geodude knocking out the remainder of the opponent's team, which I never thought I'd say. Huge shout out to the entire Shadow Hub community for bringing us today's featured battles. That was a lot of fun, although to be honest, being around 30 minutes in, or 31 minutes actually, my voice is very, very sore. So if you like PvP and you're pretty pissed off with a crappy game state, I'd highly recommend checking out our Discord. It's a lot of fun, where we come up with fun challenges and do a lot of practice battles, and a lot of us are still streaming GBL despite it being trash. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. I'd just like to say a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.